All right, y'all, we back. I know this episode is definitely coming in a little bit late, man. I had some work stuff that kind of got out of hand, and then I had some City Skylines stuff that started to get out of hand. But don't worry, I got it all back in hand now. This episode, we're going to build a nice little historical chunk of our city right next to the church. We got to get a cool grandma somewhere to stay, man. Y'all know we got the cool grandmas now. They got the inside remodel with the fly gray hardwood with the steel stove that matched the refrigerator. They getting tattoos. They listening to Glorilla. They ain't playing no games, and they ain't baking their cookies. So that's what we doing on this episode. I'm gonna use some of these New England townhomes. I'm gonna really go in with the decals and the detailing, but since it's such a small neighborhood that I'm using these in, I'm using them very sparingly. I'm gonna detail one block, and I'm just gonna copy the block, and I'm gonna change certain little things. And I mean, this is even a complete block. It's like 4 or 5 houses, but I'm gonna copy this over, change some subtle things to do this first part. I'm not gonna talk out of death, man. Just watch me detail. Definitely gonna be one of our shorter episodes, but I told y'all I ain't here to play the little YouTube games, man. Hey, man, you gotta make it 10 minutes so you can put the pre-roll and the mid-roll and the woo-wop-de-bam, and I'm not here for the shenanigans, yo. Once I'm done with the neighborhood, I'm done. Also, I don't know what happened to my sound effects. It's like 2 minutes where there's no sound effects. I think my audio hardware might have switched over and I just didn't notice it. So don't worry about it though, we gonna power through. I'm not doing nothing too fancy anyway. We laying out a little road network, and I'm also using a lot of different assets. I am going to use some of the New Englands, but I'm also using some of these brick tenements and another variation of the New England houses that have different, colored palettes. Maybe these families over here, they don't have those homeowners association rules that say, you can't paint or you can't put vinyl siding on your house like the people across the street. Everybody's house across the street look exactly the same. Maybe that's, slightly different, rules over here. Continuing to do my pre-detail and prep work, laying down parking assets, give at least some people somewhere to park, a few less pocket cars, and I'm gonna recolor one of the buildings just to give it a slight variation. While I was doing this though, I started noticing some icons, man. We having some goods issues, some raw products issues, I should say. Getting oil products or products to make these factories work, and a part of that is I have a train-only city, so it's bringing in like one load at a time basically. So I need to lay down some warehousing for I think that's oil right there. I'm gonna drop some stacks back here behind one of these buildings that's gonna collect up the ore, and I'll also try to do a little trick to keep up with what building needs what. So when I go in and do my labeling, look at the guys. Good, thank y'all for bringing y'all stuff. When I go in and do my labeling of the building, I always use like a R for ore, O for oil, L for lump. Y'all get where this is going. But it's just a way for me to keep up with what needs to be getting delivered where. Jumping back to our little Riverside city, man, I got to add like a commercial asset right here. And I mean, when I tell y'all I went through a bunch of them. I mean, it was a bunch of them, but eventually I settled on this little asset. I think it's a UK asset, but I'm going to use PO on it, and I'm going to add in my own commercial assets and turn it into more like of a little commerce center or something, man. I don't exactly know, but I know this definitely has the historical feel that I want. I'm going to use PO on it, and I really wish that there was some geometry on the inside. I don't think there is. Let's go peek up under the skirt and see. If we get what we got up on, no, butt naked. Okay, so no, we can't do that. So, but we can use some of these 1 and 2 unit assets from one of my favorite creators. I don't want to mispronounce the name. It may be Groony, it may be Grunny. I'm not sure, but he, she, or they makes these really dope 1 and 2 unit assets that you can use to make your own multi-use buildings. Or I can add 3 or 4 commercial assets into this one little building and make it like a commerce center. Which actually I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use 2. I'm going to use this ATM at the end, and I'm going to use just some signs. We're going to create the little crazy corner. The crazy corner, let's just call that the comedy club of the neighborhood, man, or this little area. Friday nights, Saturday nights, Sunday nights is black folk night, or what they call urban comedy.
Just say nigga.
I didn't have a way to finish this off, so I'm going to use this little default Stuart Hall sign for right now. I'm sure there's something better I can find on the asset workshop if I really get to digging in, but it was probably about 5 o'clock in the morning when I was doing this, and I just wanted to feel like, what is it going to look like when it's done? So that's just a stand-in sign for right now. I'm gonna also add me a little brick wall to my reverse parking situation. So this neighborhood, this part, just feels a little bit more boxed in. I think I'm getting into the detailing and I don't know it. Am I already in detailing? Are we detailing? We're detailing. So I'm gonna lay down a few props, a few assets, some paths, and then we're gonna put down some foliage, and that's for foliage. That's terrible. That's a terrible joke. Always feels like a neighborhood for me once I drop that grocery store down, man. I'm gonna finish up by using some of these. I don't know where these houses are from, but don't they look like something that would be right up against a river? I'm gonna leave some of this kind of rough, man, because like I said, I got future plans for some of this coast space, but we definitely finished with this neighborhood area. The last part of that, as y'all know, is kind of marking it out as a little area. Let's get that in there. And I went to try to come up with some kind of clever name that had something to do with our city's history or something like that, but we don't have that much history yet, so I just auto-generated. We're gonna delete the part we don't like. I like Sheffield. It reminds me of the nanny.
Oh, Mr. Sheffield.
Definitely a shorter episode. This is like a little Halloween size, little bite-size episode just to hold y'all over. The other one's coming super soon though, man. I got some dope stuff coming, man. Like, I'm a couple of episodes ahead, so y'all hang with me, stay with me, keep telling people, keep liking, commenting, subscribing. I love y'all. No pause. Rivergate gang, baby. Hit me with my Cinemax.